Cyber, COMMUNITY. Here to break the cycle, this is vital more than you and I. Yeah, it's exciting, it don't matter what your title is. You can grab a friend or two or three or four, invite them in. It's the simply cyber, bring a good vibe. It's that live with Jerry every morning, having good time. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. It's that simply cyber, bring a good vibe. It's that live with Jerry every morning, having good times. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. Dr. Auger is a OG, got that potion, the elixir, got devotion to all those who keep us showing up to witness. Fit the tricks and quips and all the tips to raise your cyber fitness. Switching up the routines, pass it off to James McQuiggan. Keep the people smiling, hit that follow, that's a good decision. Every week, today, tomorrow, I encourage y'all to listen. We gon' teach y'all way more than how to protect yourselves from phishing. More like being confident so you can recognize the vision. On a mission, it's official, we gon' get through all these issues. Time for jaw jacking, baby, this is more than a tradition, yeah. Oh, I can't forget to recognize the mods. They the engine, they the reason that you leave and feeling charged. It's that simply cyber, bring a good vibe. It's that live with Jerry every morning, having good times. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. It's that simply cyber, bring a good vibe. It's that live with Jerry every morning, having good times. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. Yeah. What else can I say? I hope you find some value in this place and have yourself an awesome day. Simply Cyber's here to stay. So let's all put our hands together ready. Time to hang with Dr. A.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the party. Today is Tuesday, May 20th, 2025. This is episode 881 of your Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. I am your host, Two Thumbs, large cup of coffee, a light fever, but don't sweat it because you can't contract it through a interwebs. Dr. Gerald Auger, and over the next hour, me, you, Eric Taylor, Space Tacos, Jenny Housley, Kimberly Can Fix It, Louie, Marcus Kyler, not only IT guys, Deb and Grady, all the blue badges, all the squad members, first-timers and long-timers, we're all going to be shredding the top cybersecurity news stories of the day. And I'll be giving my expert opinion and analysis on each of those stories from my perspective on how you can dig beneath the headlines and actually distill the essence of cyber risk reduction opportunities for yourself, for your business stakeholders, for your organization, ultimately being able to drive all sorts of value for your stakeholders and also making you look like an absolute rock star at work, further empowering you to be the CEO of you and straight crushing it. And of course, if you're looking to break into the industry, this show has mad value for you as well. You don't just have to be in the industry. Honestly, you're going to be asked in any job interview, how do you stay current on the industry? The reason is because it's kind of a foundational element. Yes, you need to know how computers talk to each other. You need to know how operating systems work. You got to understand what, the OSI stack is. Unless you're John Strand, then it's TCP IP. Either way, there's some foundational IT things, sure, that you got to know, but a mindset of, constantly staying engaged, taking initiative, being proactive. These are all things that employers will seek out, and staying current on the top news is very important, not just so you're like in the know, but basically threat actors move quick, and you're going to have to understand what's going on, what are the macroeconomic influences going on, making decisions, policy, regulations, international collaborations, all these things, in order to be able to make the right choice at the right time. That's why you'll be asked in any interview. So say what's up in chat, friends, whether you're a long time, first time practitioner, or looking to break in. We're going to get mad value for you, I promise. Now, I want you to know, like every episode, Jenny Housley knows this for facts. I don't research or prep any of the stories in advance. I barely see them. I just kind of like center them so when I flip to them, it looks nice on the stream. Do you know why?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that. No, we're just getting in here, dude. I'm trying to get my coffee on. I'm trying to decide whether or not to put a sweatshirt on, even though it's not cold in my office. I've got little, fever, light fever. So you might see the UMass hoodie get donned at some point. But seriously, though, this is how it is, dude. Every single day, even before I started streaming the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, this was my morning routine, and it's all about good times. So definitely take advantage of it. Good morning to all of you guys. This is sick. Tuesday is always Tidbits Tuesday, where I'll share a little bit about myself, and we'll see if we vibe on it. I actually snuck a Tidbits Tuesday in yesterday with what was your first AOL instant messenger name. Guys, let's take a hot second and talk about the stream sponsors, those who enable me to bring this show to you every single morning, whether I'm feeling good or I'm feeling like crap, whether I'm on the road or I'm at the Buffer Auger Flow studio. These partners, not only do I appreciate the sponsorship, but also I identify and stand by them. Many of them, basically all of them, I've used their service, except ThreatLocker, but I've seen demos and I really like it. So let's take a hot minute and talk about that, starting with my good friend in the green room, Eric Taylor and the crew at Barricade Cyber Solutions with their Fortify 365 solution. Is your Microsoft 365 environment secure? With business email compromise on the rise, your entire operation could be at risk, which is why Fortify 365 from Barricade Cyber Solutions can help protect your enterprise. Their team of experts implements proven security standards to protect your business from cyber threats, ensure compliance, and safeguard your sensitive data and assets. They've helped countless organizations, including my own, right? I've had Eric come in and tune up in an M365 environment. Wonderful work. They can basically tune up your M365 defenses with tailored solutions, i.e. they meet with your team, meet with your organization. I was at a small tech startup and understand what's going to work best for you and your business. Don't wait until after a breach. That's the worst time to then decide to put in information security controls. Visit Fortify365.com today. There's a link in the description below. Fortify365.com today to learn how they can help you secure your Microsoft 365 environment against tomorrow's threat. Don't be shy. Go check it out. I'm telling you. An ounce of prevention goes a long way. I also want to say shout out to Antisyphon Training. Now, normally we're talking about the amazing training opportunities that are disrupting the cybersecurity training industry that Antisyphon's bringing. But I made the executive decision here to tell you about Antisyphon's Anti-Cast series. Now, Antisyphon does these anti-cast streams regularly. You can go to their calendar of events on their website at antisyphontraining.com. Here's the course calendar. You can literally see what they have coming up. But see how they have an anti-cast tomorrow? They have an anti-cast next Wednesday. Basically, every Wednesday, they're throwing down anti-casts. But I want to call your attention to this one because you may recognize this dude right here. This is Fleetus Poston III. You might recognize him from such popular shows as Friday Jawjacking Panel and his own channel on YouTube. Fleetus Poston III, App State's own, doing a lot of mentoring. He'll be talking about the human factor in AI-driven cybersecurity tomorrow live. I also want to let you know, just as like a little, is that an amuse-bouche you're bringing out, chef, before the main course? I and Wade Wells will be pre-show bantering on Fleetus Poston III's Anticast tomorrow. So if you want to come throw some eggs or throw some Oprah emotes around, come hang out. I think it's 11:30 to noon is when I'll be, jaw-jacking and pre-show banter, and then Fleetus is going to take the mic like he's a headliner, like he's Biz Markie in 1994 here at Anticast. Here's a link to it. I'll pin it. Because if you go to the link in the description below, it's not going to work. I also want to say, let's just rip through these. Okay, actually, you know what? Yeah, let's rip through. Actually, let's rip through these. Okay, and then we're gonna. Hold on. You know what? Let me do this first. Every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is worth half a CPE. You can see it right below me on the Chiron. You see that? Boom. Episode 881. Dude, if you... Oh, Dan Reardon is making me aware that if you go to poweredbybhis.com, powered, past tense, poweredbybhis.com, you can sign up there as well. Guys, say what's up in screenshot. Say what's up in screenshot. Jesus, Sherry. Say what's up in chat. Grab a screenshot. If you can, I would recommend you get the title of the stream in the screenshot. So it should say something like May 20th, Top Cyber News Now, or something like that. Grab a screenshot with the date. These are the little details that these organizations are going to ask you for, and file it away. Once a year, count the number of screenshots and divide by 2. It's just that easy, guys. You can get, Kayla Sturgeon did the math. You can get up to 120 CPEs, so don't be shy, my friend. And if you're watching this as a group and you want the CPs, log in from your phone and grab a screenshot. Let's pump those numbers, Matthew McConaughey style. All right, guys. If today's your first episode, holler at me with a hashtag first timer in chat. All week, we're going to be calling for people who are, brand new here. So like today's your first episode, but also if you have been a regular, and there's so many of you, I know you're there. I see the numbers, okay? There's so many regulars who do not comment in chat, and that's okay. I'm not going to make you do it, but I would say maybe today, make today the day, or, this week, drop a hashtag first timer in chat. Take that first step into social networking. You might be pleasantly surprised on how well received you are from the community that you're a part of. Dark World Security, welcome to the party, pal. If you squad members can help me welcome Dark World Security with the John McClaney mode, I would definitely appreciate it. All right, guys, looking forward to some new friends hopping into chat. Let me just tell you about Delete Me really quickly, and then actually Phil Stafford. Let's do the Threat Locker one real quick. Actually, no. You know what? Let's do the Delete Me. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do these things, okay? It's a work in progress, trying to address all these reads, but also not make it, yuck. Okay. Yo, Delete Me makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable, including you, Phil Stafford. It's easier than ever to find personal information about people online. Having your address, phone number, family members' names hanging out on the internet can have actual consequences in the real world, IRL, and make everyone vulnerable. And dude, personally, as someone with an active online presence, my face is all up in LinkedIn's business, all up in YouTube's business, right? With an online presence, privacy is really important to me. I've said it a million times, guys. I have kids, I have a wife, I have people that I'm responsible for. I have a personal life that, I like to choose who I let into it and who I don't. Just because I'm an online, presence doesn't mean that you get to like sleep on the, on like a sleeping bag on the floor in my bedroom, right? Like there's got to be limits here. So helping protect privacy is very nice, and Delete Me can help me with that. I actually just got my monthly report showing what data Delete Me has deleted. Take control of your data, keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now at a special discount for our listeners. Get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber. Use promo code simplycyber at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber and enter code simplycyber at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/simplycyber, code simplycyber. Holy crap, a lot of first-timers coming rumbling into chat. I see Samuel Olawakaya. Hold on, let me give a shot at this one, Samuel. First-timer from Nigeria. Samuel Oluwakayod. Oluwakayod. Welcome from Nigeria, Samuel. Javier Martinez, first-timer in chat. Javier, thanks for taking the first step, bud. And then Deb Wigley and TJ Williams high-fiving everybody. Deb Wigley, if you're interested in engaging with Deb Wigley, you can say hi to @Deb Wigley in chat, but she'll also be a pre-show banter tomorrow with Fleeta's Post in the third. All right, guys, do me a favor. Get your coffee, right? Get your tea, whatever your drink of choice is, right? And do me a favor. Sit back, relax, and let's let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over all of us in an awesome wave. I'll see you guys at the mid-roll. Yeah.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Tuesday, May 20th, 2025. I'm Rich Straffolino. UK's legal aid agency breached. On April 23rd, the UK's legal aid agency, a part of the Ministry of Justice, discovered a threat actor had breached its systems. It immediately coordinated with the National Crime Agency to bolster the security of our systems, according to CEO Jane Harbottle. On Friday, May 16th, it was discovered that the attack was more extensive than originally understood, with threat actors accessing a significant amount of data on applicants for legal aid, including criminal records, addresses, national ID numbers, and financial data. Citing a need for radical action to safeguard users, the agency took its services offline while it recovers. The Ministry of Justice has contingency plans in place for those in need of legal support. No word on who orchestrated the attack or how they gained access.
All right. There isn't a lot of information on this. London, Roswell, UK is in chat. He's our token Londoner, if there's a better term for that. Our local Guy Ritchie guy. There isn't much to this, dude. So like some, government agency that helps with legal aid for people to get, lawyers or legal representation, right? It was hacked. They took it offline, right? So that's like the second time. I don't know if there's like a trend right now or whatever, but like for a while, it was like a big choice to pull a system offline, like pull your entire company off the internet, basically. But we've seen 2 stories in the last week where they've done just that. The UK has been getting slammed recently. Scattered Spider has been smacking around the retail industry there in the UK. So, I don't need Co-op and Mark and Spencer or whatever it is. these are brands and lines I'm not familiar of, but this is not one of those. So I almost feel like it's coincidental that they're both happening in the UK and unrelated. Additionally, they stole a bunch of data. Right now, with ransomware threat actors, what you should be aware of, we got another first-timer up in here, Adeniyi Olunuga. Welcome to the party. Listen, threat actors, if you didn't know, and this is something you should give consideration to when you're doing your tabletop exercises, there's three kind of prongs to ransomware. Right? Most people think of just encrypting the data and selling you the key back, but there's also data exfil, which has become very popular, where they take a copy of all your data and then encrypt all your data. So now they can either sell you the key, sell your data to someone else, all these things. And then there's also denial of service attacks. So if you kind of like give them the old single finger salute, they might try to blow you off the internet and then charge a ransom to stop the denial of service attack. So those are kind of the 3 dimensions of a quote unquote ransomware attack. And this one, they only did data exfil. So you don't know, it's possible that the ransomware payload didn't detonate, or the encryption payloads didn't detonate because of whatever EDR or network segmentation or something. Or maybe, that wouldn't stop detonation, but it would stop spread of detonation, right? So who knows, right? There isn't much detail in here. Obviously this data is out, so you can't do much about, exactly. You can't do much with this one, except give these people who needed legal aid some identity theft protection. But, also another thing that they pointed out that I think is really valuable is that they said they had a contingency plan in place to be able to deliver services despite the fact that they were offline. That's another thing, dude. I mean, at hospitals, you'll see downtime procedures, which is super popular or super common. Nursing and clinical staff, they need to know how to deliver healthcare services even when there's no power, because think about a natural disaster, right? That's when you really need healthcare. So they practice that all the time. But if your organization doesn't have contingency plans around whatever mission critical services y'all have, that is definitely a risk that you're taking on.
NHS patients put at risk from cyber attacks. Recorded Future News acquired data from Britain's National Health Service under a Freedom of Information Act showing that 2 cyber attacks last year caused what was categorized as potential clinical harm to over 50 patients, stemming from a lack of available medical care. This category falls below the 2 most critical categories, excess fatalities and excess casualties. While the data doesn't name the specific attacks, it could have likely stemmed from the attack on the pathology services provider Synovus, which resulted in delayed and canceled medical appointments.
Yeah, that Synovus attack was a while ago. If you guys remember, that was like a blood bank or some type of blood-related service. Guys, I don't know. Roswell, UK, you tell me what's going on. Your country, what do you consider the UK, by the way? Like England's a country, right? Wales is a country. What do you call the UK? Like, is that like a mega country? Or like, I know that's like reaching back into colonialism, and it's more like or it feels more vestigial, like the monarchy over there. But in all honesty, my ignorance does present itself here. I don't really understand the kingdom here, but also fun fact, I spent some time this weekend looking up why Russia sold Alaska to the United States. Fascinating. Okay, guys, NHS patients and clinical data is taken. Yeah, like I'm trying to look here. Like, is this isn't necessarily a new attack? The Synovus attack was a while ago. Let me see really quickly. Okay. Yeah, like 2022. What are we doing here? So Roswell, UK, the whole UK group, NHS got hit. NHS got taken down by WannaCry in 2017, right? Like, this isn't new. Like, and by the way, this is part of the reason why the UK or England has stood up a, like, basically the equivalent of like the NSA. They have like this dedicated cyber capability or federal government entity. And I think it's to help combat with this. I worked in healthcare for a number of years, guys. I'm telling you right now, healthcare it's not very tolerant to cyber attacks, and patient safety will always trump cybersecurity. Always, 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 always. And clinical staff. Okay, UK is a country, England's a nation. Thank you. Roswell, UK. Straight facts coming from the source. There isn't much information here that you can do anything with, particularly to help drive cyber risk reduction. This is like another, like, throw it on the fire story here. All I would say is a couple things. One, if you ever get a chance to work in healthcare, it is a wonderful environment. If you're interested in like speed running your experience, there's a lot of opportunity, a lot of different kinds of end users, a lot of different types of technology with biomedical devices, a lot of collaboration, lots of data and sensitive data. So working in healthcare was like really an awesome opportunity. So if you're looking or you have an opportunity, I would recommend it. It's a lot of work, though. You got to be mindful of that.
23andMe has a buyer. When the DNA testing company 23andMe declared bankruptcy, there was obvious privacy concerns raised about the implications for its genetic data. Now, Regeneron Pharmaceuticals agreed to buy the company out of bankruptcy for $256 million, with the acquisition expected to close in Q3. 23andMe services will continue uninterrupted, and Regeneron will need to tell a court-appointed ombudsman how it plans to use the genetic data, as well as detail security and privacy controls. Regeneron said it will maintain 23andMe's existing privacy policies after the acquisition.
That's interesting. Okay, so this is a privacy story at best, okay? And it's even that is kind of like thin. This is more of a Financial Times story. 23andMe, $6 billion valuation, unicorn, VCs, the money, oh my God, economic insensitivity, and then like someone comes in and is like, bro, like brass tacks, your business isn't worth that. I'll give you $256 million and consider yourself lucky that I'm even willing to talk to you. So if they sell it and they accept that, that's fine. I mean, I feel like when you're in bankruptcy, $256 million weighs a lot more than $0. Now, what's interesting from a privacy perspective is that the company Regeneron that says they're going to buy it will basically be a rebrand of 23andMe. They're going to keep the same privacy settings, all those things. Okay, tinfoil hat time. Get your tinfoil hat here. And for you first-timers in chat, when I speak completely off the cuff, based on nothing, no evidence, no supporting evidence, this isn't libel. This is just an interesting thought, okay? I'm not even talking about this company. If I was going to... I mean, and again, guys, if I figure this out in like 1 second, smart people are going to figure it out quicker. If I was going to take this data and do something with it, the obvious thing is like, I just scoop up 23andMe and all their data. Everybody's going to be looking at you like, what are you going to do with this data? But if you scoop it up and say you're going to keep the company going, fine, you can keep the company going, but you still have all the inside access. You have access to all the data. And because you're a company now, like, people can't be all up in your drawers trying to figure out what you're doing, right? So if it were me and I had nefarious ideas or what's the word I'm looking for? Capitalist ideas with this data, right? If you buy the company and say you're running the company, you can harvest all that data out of there and do whatever you want. Now, again, they are going to adhere to the privacy policies, but I haven't reviewed those privacy policies, so I don't know exactly what there is. Chances are there are clauses in there. Again, tinfoil hat here. There's clauses in there around the option and the opportunity to sell data if it is anonymized, so not the DNA, which by the way is like a fingerprint anyways, but if the DNA is not tied, so if it's like Deb Wigley's DNA, but you don't say it's Deb Wigley, you just say it's person's DNA, then it's okay or something like that. This is why, okay, policy is very important. I know, like, Eric Taylor probably just eye rolled so hard he fell out of his chair, but policy is important because it explains how you're going to behave and what the expectations are of you and of your business, and how countries, clients, customers, businesses, what they should expect, what you stand for. Okay, I'm reading this. I'm reading this book right now. Ask me at the mid-roll. I'm reading a book right now, and like, it's very relevant to this particular topic. So anyways, Regeneron, I hope you're legit and keep doing things, but I'm just saying, if I was a Bond villain, and I needed this data, this is how I go about it.
Bipartisan bill for federal cyber workforce training. Representatives Pat Fallon and Marcy Kaptur introduced the Federal Cyber Workforce Training Act in the House. This bill calls on the National Cyber Director to plan for the creation of a centralized training center for federal cyber workforce development. This center would focus on setting cybersecurity standards for new federal employees at the start of onboarding, specifically for entry-level workers with role-specific training developed in cooperation with relevant federal agencies. The bill also proposes the idea of specialized training for federal HR officials to better recruit personnel for the federal cyber workforce.
All right, federal cyber workforce. Dude, let's go. I mean, obviously there's been a lot of I mean, it's kind of funny, right? There's been a lot of reallocation and repurposing of cyber jobs. We even saw General, Timothy Ho, the 4-star general who was over a cyber command in NSA, get fired. So let's go. Legislation comes from lawmakers that say that basically federal cyber recruiting has been crippled. Oh, this guy looks wicked intense, Pat Fallon. Oh, he's from Texas. There you go, DJ BSEC. Representative Pat Fallon getting after it. Guys, here's the deal. This is one of those ones where, like, we say, oh gosh, like, so many people want to work in cybersecurity and there's so many jobs, but there's so many people who can't get work. And then there's like, oh, let's have this federal cyber workforce program to put people in place and fund those roles. So I know it is confusing and frustrating. I don't know where these jobs actually would be. Plus, this bill needs to pass and become, supported or approved or whatever, which would give that funding for those roles and for that training, right? Robust cyber workforce by streamlining onboarding with hands-on role-specific training. Dude, if this passes, there's going to be so many. I hate this, but it's just the reality. If this passes, there's going to be so many cybersecurity training companies lining up. They're going to like the wolf. You know those cartoons, like Saturday morning cartoons that were kind of like made in the 60s, but they showed in the 80s, 90s, where it's like the wolf. It kind of has like that Tom and Jerry drawing style, and he's like putting on the bib with the fork and knife, or just that's what cybersecurity training companies are going to be doing if this passes, because they're like, oh, you need to train 200,000 people? We've got just the product for you, so. All right. They're talking about developing a framework to foster the highest levels of excellence in cybersecurity. Bro, for crying out loud. Like, look at this. Federal NIST Cyber Workforce Framework. For real. The NICE framework, guys? They're talking about developing a framework. Are you freaking kidding me? How about we use the framework that we've spent like 10 years and hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars designing? This right here, this is old. This exists already. Like, what are we doing? Why are we spending money and talking in Congress or House of Representatives about passing a framework? Let's use the one we got. I tell you what, man, people are like so geeked up about building new bridges and not repairing the existing bridges. Nobody gets elected for fixing a bridge. Everybody gets elected for building. Oh, look at this new bridge. Ooh, it's annoying. Friggin' use the one we have. Okay, so whatever. If it helps us get more cybersecurity training, more education, federal IT dudes, Department of Treasury got hacked a few years ago. IRS is getting smacked around. Clop ransomware went gangbusters all up in different government agencies and like deleted the data because they didn't want the heat on. State and local municipality doesn't fall into the scope of this, but at the same time, it's an indicator of how government works. So, and then they're saying private sector jobs undercut years of recruitment efforts. Yeah. Dude, private sector pays way more. That's it. Full stop. So, you know, if you're altruistic, if you're righteous, you can do federal work. If you're transitioning out of the military, you know, federal work might be a little easier just because you have like the relationships and stuff like that. Private professional services company will definitely hire you. Since you have relationships that can help them sell work into the government. But by and large, getting private sector will pay you more. You'll also get fired a lot easier. Pre-Doge, it was very hard to get fired in the government. With Doge, like I don't even know. Honestly, I don't even know if Doge is still around. Like that was like a flare up. Like I'm sure it is. I don't know, but it was hot for a second and then it wasn't.
And now thanks to today's sponsor, Conveyor. Ever spent an hour in a clunky portal questionnaire with UI from 1999 just to lose your work because it timed out? Conveyor's got you. Their browser extension completes questionnaires in the most tedious portals for you by auto-importing all the questions and generating AI answers. For popular portals, it can go full autopilot and fill in reviewed answers into the portal on one click. You shouldn't have to fight a portal just to prove your security posture. Learn more at conveyor.com. That's CONVEYOR.com.
Dude, whatever. That sounds pretty wild. Put it on full autopilot and just like let it fill out your questionnaires. I mean, whatever. All right, hey, let's go. Oh, actually, let's do the Threat Locker read really quick, and then we're gonna do the music. All right, let me do that. I should have done it before, but yeah, these things happen. Let's go. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, Threat Locker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with Threat Locker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust Threat Locker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. Threat Locker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how Threat Locker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com. Alrighty, righty. Oh, all right, yo. Hey, everybody, I want to say thank you to the stream sponsors. Thank you, Barricade. Threat Locker, obviously, we just heard from. Delete Me and Antisyphon. Guys, just great people. Links in the description below if you're ever interested. I want to say thank you to all of you. Thanks, Colo, Radio, Carrie, Jabroni, Hacksauce 3. Every single day of the week has a special segment, and Tuesdays is Tidbits Tuesday, where I share a little bit about me and see if we kind of vibe on it. I don't really have anything particularly going today. Let me think really quickly. Oh, actually, you know what? Here's a Tidbits Tuesday. Getting real with you, all right? So I drove 6 hours this weekend to Florida, 6 hours back. Pretty soon I'm going to have to make a 16-hour drive one way. And I don't know about you guys, but tell me if you vibe with me on this one. When I was younger, 20 years old, whatever, I could drive 16 hours straight. No big deal, right? I'd even have the shirt off, arm out the window, like kicking it, listening to music, like loving life. I'd get sunburned just like half my body. Now, guys, I like 2 hours in and I have like a throbbing pain from my knee to my butt. And I have to like adjust and everything. Mrs. Auger actually is buying, it looks like a butt implant, basically. It's like a seat thing. I'll bring it up. It's ridiculous looking. It looks like a booster seat for children, except it's shaped like your butt. And you put it in the car seat. I think it's designed for office chairs. And I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to sit on it and see if it resolves my issue. Because I got to tell you, dude, 2 hours in and you got pain and then you got 14 more hours of driving. That's like a true grueling test. So, all right. So, where do you guys stand on that? Has anyone? Oh man, look at all this, guys. 6 hours feels like forever. 4 digits of your social security might be a tidbit. My knees can't handle sitting like that for long stretches. Oh yeah, Priceless Pancake knows about the butt cushions. I like it. Marlon Johnson vibes with me. Cyber Risk Witch with Simply Peaches. Oh, that's so funny. You know, the thing is, guys, and I'll tell you this too. We have dogs, and I refuse. Like we drive long distances because of the dogs. We don't fly. I'm not going to put my dog under a friggin' plane. Are you kidding me? There's more than a 0% chance of mortality, and I'm a dog person, and we're not doing that. So, yeah, Keith knows 4 hours is the limit. 6 hours is Fleetus's limit. Oh my God, Airhawk seat cushion. Airhawk, there's a shout. Rhonda Rummerfield with the throwback. All right, guys, let's get our la-la-la-las on. I didn't realize this was such a, I didn't realize this would be such a topic everybody vibes on. I'm excited about my butt cushion now. Here we go. Honer Joe. Butt cushions are good. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Alpha Sierra, go. Oh my God, Kyle feels seen. He's sitting on one right now. Let's finish strong, y'all.
Ransomware operators turning to SkitNet. Researchers at ProDaft report that the malware SkitNet, also known as BossNet, is becoming increasingly popular in the post-exploitation toolkit of ransomware actors. SkitNet first appeared for sale on underground forums in April 2024, but was most recently seen used by Black Basta last month. SkitNet offers a lightweight package with a fully automated installation. Initial executables are written in Rust, which then decrypt and run payloads compiled in NIM, ultimately to establish a reverse shell connection to a C2 server communicating over DNS. It uses PowerShell-based commands to obtain persistence at startup and deploys the legitimate tools AnyDesk and RutServe for remote access.
All right. Hey, I like legit was cracking up just there. Galia Lebin says last row middle seat on Spirit Airlines is greater than 4 hour drive. Oh my God, that's so funny. Okay, so threat actors are using this SkitNet malware for post-exploitation work. Okay, so a couple things here. One, okay, if you want, you can get the IOCs for SkitNet malware and find it. The thing is, you're already screwed. If SkitNet's running on your machine, you're already owned. Post-exploitation is after they've compromised your asset, and now they're setting up, basically shop inside your house. They're squatters on your machine. Remember, more advanced malware in threat actor software is going to need to be able to communicate and take action based on whatever the threat actor wants. Copying certain data, deploying certain capabilities, creating accounts, setting up persistence mechanisms, reporting in on C2, like all those things. And that's what this is in general. Not the nice thing for threat actors, the nice thing is this is a bundled solution. So if you can get access to a box, you can just take the SkitNet, which is like, a complete turnkey solution for post-exploitation, and run with it. Black Basta was seen using it. It doesn't matter, dude. Any threat actor can do it. It doesn't have to be a, tier 1 ransomware threat actor. It's like basically anyone. Let's see how it works. It's a multi-stage malware developed by whoever, some threat actor, doesn't matter. It uses rusted NIM to launch a reverse shell over DNS. Okay, so the fact that it uses rusted NIM, like, okay, whatever. Like, it could use COBOL or Pascal. It doesn't matter. Like, but it runs the reverse shell over DNS. The reverse shell is basically the compromised machine is reaching out to the internet, to the threat actor's machine, and making that secure shell connection, basically, typically. So the reason that that's important is because, remember, guys, your machine, say your machine is on your home network, right? Oh, I'm on a RFC 1918 IP address, like a non-public routable IP, like 192.168.1.5, right? Like the internet can't get me. Well, if your machine is owned, you can go out on the internet from your machine. And that's why these reverse shells work, because your machine will reach out and establish it. Now, it goes over DNS. Basically, if you can send any data out from your machine, you can, do C2 over it. I will say I'm definitely not a pen tester. I don't play one on TV, but I have watched a lot of Red Siege webcasts. And if you guys are interested in offensive security, yes, there's people like IPSec and Tyler Ramsby and others like that. Hackersploit is excellent. That can teach you those things. But if you want to learn, like, I think kind of like the more advanced techniques, as well as kind of the business of offensive security, I'm a huge fan of Mike Saunders at Red Siege. He's a friend of mine too. So, like, in full disclosure, it's not like, but Mike Saunders, Red Siege, this guy, not only is he really awesome, he's also like very giving of his time and his knowledge areas. He's this guy on the right. He's like a classic kind of Northwestern, Midwestern guy, ice fishes. And the reason I tell you is because you see this video right here? He did this with Antisyphon training, actually. Top 5 red team skills with Mike Saunders. This is just a few weeks old. Like, I would go watch this. The reason I bring this all up is because I've watched him talk about DNS for C2 traffic and how it's a great vehicle for sending C2. But if you're looking at DNS, it's very, very, very easy to see the C2 traffic. So for defenders, make sure that you're looking at DNS traffic in your SIM or whatever, at least occasionally, to see if there's C2 traffic, because according to Mike Saunders, it is like a blinking red light when C2 traffic is in DNS. But it's hyper effective, right? Phil Stafford, yes. Actually, you guys are funny. The San Francisco contingent, Phil Stafford and Elliot Matisse. Yes, that is funny. And for those who don't know, I was cast in an MTV show that actually starts airing June 3rd. And that's what they're talking about. Details to follow on that. All right, let's keep going.
Arla Foods confirms cyber attack. The Danish food co-op giant confirmed it suffered a cyber attack that disrupted production at its dairy site in Uppal, Germany. It expects this will lead to product delays or order cancellations in the near future. It hopes to restore production at the facility by the end of the week. Arla was mum when asked if this was a ransomware attack. Arla's products are used in brands across 140 countries, including Starbucks, Castello, Puck, and Lurpak. No threat actor took credit for the disruption yet.
Yeah. All right. I mean, dude, this is like friggin', a day that ends in Y. This, at the end of the day, this is basically a manufacturing company, right? It's not making widgets. It looks like it's making and distributing food related products or food support products, right? Maybe they're making cups that Starbucks uses. It doesn't matter. They got pinched. They didn't confirm it's ransomware, but all signs are pointing to it's ransomware. Threat actor hasn't taken credit for it. Welcome to the party, pal. In 2025, basically threat actors, and Eric Taylor can correct me if I'm wrong, unless it's like super targeted, like nation states would do, or, a threat actor that really wants to hit somebody, for the most part, whether it's affiliate ransomware attacks or it's just threat actors, they send out a bunch of like fishes, right? Or lures or whatever. And then people get hit. And then the payloads, there's like an automation of execution and stuff like that. It's like taking a pillowcase and putting a bunch of pool balls in it, right? And then swinging it around and like running with your eyes shut through a crowd. Like, I know that that's a horrifying visual to do, but my point is, you're going to hit some people. You have no idea who you're going to hit. So the way that these work, they like run through and bang, 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 bang. And then they get to the end of the run, put down the bag, take off their blindfold, and then they turn around and see what they got, right? Or like, I guess a less visceral metaphor would be like throwing a net into the water and then pulling it up and seeing what you caught. You have no idea. So I feel like they just have to kind of go through their findings. Some threat actor will take credit for this and begin the, ransomware extortion, conversation, negotiations, et cetera, et cetera.
Threat actors find a way to make printer software even worse. On a tip from tech writer Cameron Coward, an analysis by the security firm G-Data found that software downloads from the printer company ProColored contain malware. Coward notified ProColored only to be told that these were likely false positives. G-Data found that the company hosted software on mega.nz and had 39 software downloads infected with a crypto stealer and wormable backdoor XRED. This could log keystrokes, download payloads, and copy cryptocurrency wallet information when installed. Despite the initial denial, ProColored eventually removed software downloads, telling G-Data that it initially transferred its software to the host through a flash drive, which might have been where the malware was introduced. Pwn to own.
Okay. So, first of all, super clever by the threat actors. Secondly, like, ProColored clearly doesn't have InfoSec people. Like, they get tipped off that they're basically firmware downloads or the software downloads. It sounds like it might be like the printer software, right? Is hosting malware. And they're like, no, it's not. Like, that's their initial reaction. Like classy move, ProColored. And then, yes, in fact, it was. Hey, really quickly, Joseph Go finally got a paid internship at an MSP. Boom! Yes, sir. Nice job, man. Congratulations, Joseph. Now that you got the internship, Joseph, now the opportunity comes to absolutely crush it, eviscerate that internship, and make it a no-brainer for them to want to hire you or for you to have a resume that's absolute nails. All right, so anyways, threat actor, I honestly, I like this one. It's got a
je ne sais quoi, if you will, of technique.
Right? Like, threat actors getting all up in it. They basically infect this thing, and then, obviously, this is a crime of opportunity because the malware was an info stealer, but its main thing was it would, if it identified a cryptocurrency wallet, it would replace the wallet value with the threat actor's wallet. And they said they actually found the wallet. Of course, they reversed the code. They found the wallet, and they found that the wallet had 9 Bitcoin in it. We'll have to get Justin Gold to let us know what the current conversion rate is of that. Maybe around 100 grand. So, slow and steady. This was in place for, I think they said, a year and a half or half a year, 6 months. So this guy, dude, I'm telling you, if you're going to commit fraud, don't, and again, I'm not here to tell you to commit fraud. I'm not trying to teach you to be criminal. Don't do that, please. But I've studied fraud. I love studying fraud. And I'm telling you, most people get caught when they get greedy. If you just slow play fraud, it could be your solution. It's like a lifestyle business, right? Again, don't commit fraud. I'm not here to tell you commit fraud, but they got in there. This was a Trojan, plain and simple. This was a Trojan. The other thing I want to point out is they said that the back door was written in Delphi. Again, whether it's written in NIM, Rust, C++, C, COBOL, Pascal, Fortran. I'm dating myself now. BASIC. Do you kids know what BASIC is? If you're Gen Z, have you ever heard of BASIC? It doesn't matter. Okay, Delphi is old though, for real. I almost think like we should be looking for like a 58-year-old guy who's the threat actor. All right, TLDR. This is a true attack vector. I would say if you do have a business that hosts software downloads, firmware downloads, right? Like your hardware company or whatever, it might not be a bad practice to, you see this from time to time, but basically have a hash value for the downloads and make sure that you're checking them somewhat regularly to make sure that someone hasn't swapped out the file, right? With a Trojan.
Aftermath. We already discussed some of the vulnerabilities.
Oh, Roswell, UK coming in strong. Visual Basic. I wasn't talking Visual Basic. Visual Basic is a thing, but way back in the day. Basic. Go-to.
Discovered at Pwn to Own Berlin last week. Now that the event is over, we know security researchers pocketed $1,078,000 in bounties, exploiting 29 zero days. The Star Labs SG team took home the most money with $320,000. Vendors have 90 days from Pwn to Own to patch vulnerabilities before Trend Micro's zero-day initiative publishes technical details. Over the weekend, Mozilla wasted no time patching 2 critical out-of-bounds read-write issues in JavaScript for Firefox.
Oh, that's really cool. So, dude, Pwn to Own, I love Pwn to Own. I think Pwn to Own definitely adds a lot of value. And basically, it's the Olympics of bug bounties and vulnerability disclosure. If you've known me for a minute, you know that I'm a huge fan of the current meta of responsible disclosure and bug bounties. I think it's so much better than the way it used to be. Also, if you're interested, I'm going to simplycyber.io/books. This is How They Tell Me the World Ends by Nicole Pelleroth. Fascinating book, excellent book. And also, there's a whole section on the way bug bounties work and the way they used to work, like in the early 90s, and the criminalization of it, and how black market arms dealers were selling 0 days for lots of money and all that. Like, very fascinating. The rabbit hole goes quite deep on this one. But Pwn to Own, dude, we're talking real money. One team made $300,000, like, for not that, for a few days of work, right? One really cool thing was that Tesla actually submitted a couple units. Now, obviously, I don't think the cars were there, but the software, I think, for the either that runs the car or something like that was there. No 0 days were submitted for those technologies. So I don't know if that. Oh, thank you, Syed. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I just got confused here for a second. I'm not sure if there's no 0 days in the Tesla software. I seriously doubt it. I think all software has bugs and vulnerabilities, but none were discovered. Also, just looking at the leaderboard here, I do want to say quick shout out. I don't know definitively if this is aligned or not, but Wiz Research. Wiz is like a really glorious unicorn cybersecurity cloud research or cloud security company. Stacy Loki works over there. She's phenomenal. If you guys are interested in following a really great cyber professional, she's great. Synactive, Josh Mason works over there. If this is the same company, Synac has been doing pen testing and security research forever. I remember seeing a talk in 2011 at ShmooCon from Colby Moore and oh my God, Patrick Wardle. So yeah, these are legit software reverse engineers, security researchers. So super cool. Love myself some Pwn to Own. Let's go. Oh, we're a couple minutes early. This is great. What the hell? All right, y'all. Holla, holla, holla. Now, don't go anywhere because we're going to be pivoting over to jaw jacking shortly to answer all your questions. It's a mentoring at scale AMA situation. But since we have a few minutes, I do want to say a couple things. One, shout out to all of you. Thank you for being here. I'm going to look. We don't pivot over to jaw jacking until 9 a.m. Let's see here. Got a job interview in vulnerability management today. Wish you luck. Fab 5. Let's go. Love it, love it, love it. All right, guys. Let me just share a couple things with you guys really quickly. I am reading this book right now. This was a recommendation from Tom Lawrence. This right here, Careless People. It's a memoir from this woman, Sarah Wynne Williams. I'm listening to the audiobook. And she reads it herself. She's from New Zealand. So you can tell because it's her own story. It's interesting. She was at Facebook very early and worked there a long time. And it just gets into the nuances of Facebook. And if you've seen the evolution of Facebook, it really is an interesting insider look. I would have to guess that she was basically keeping a journal throughout her career there. And then, you know, this isn't like an expose. It's really just a cautionary tale, essentially. Right now, she just had a baby in the book, and motherhood is supposed to be invisible at Facebook. So that's currently where I am. But this is a great book, definitely worth checking out if you're interested in looking for something, kind of to check out. I do also want to put this really quickly. Caught in the Act Double Life. This is Tamar. So this is the Caught in the Act Double Life. This is the MTV show that I'm in. The show premieres June 3rd. My first episode won't be till June 10th, though. So I'm not saying don't watch it, obviously, but there's 12 episodes. I am in 8 of them. There was another guy who was the cyber person, but I took the lion's share of the episodes. So, very cool opportunity. I never thought I would be on MTV. But, yep, there we go. All right, guys. Hey, Becky Gaylord. This is good. Zmif. Yeah, that was kind of like the Facebook thing. Like, really quick. Like, she got, dinged in her performance review because she, because she was like, whatever. I read the book. She got dinged in a performance review for talking about her baby at work. Okay. All right, guys. We are almost at time. We're going to be flipping it over to Eric Taylor for jaw jacking in a minute. Valentino, I will not be getting a glow up. Poner Joe wants to know how MTV reached out to me. So Poner Joe, the basically a casting agency that had gotten that basically works for MTV, reached out to me and just said, "Hey, we like you. We've seen you." Basically YouTube, right? They're like, "We've seen you on YouTube. We've checked out your morning show. We think you have great charisma. You obviously know what you're talking about. We have a need for a cyber person. Would you like to audition?" And then I auditioned, and then I won the role. And then, I flew to Atlanta. Have a good one, Elliot Matisse. Angular, that's a throwback. Sierra Montgomery. So, it's interesting. It's Tuesday at 9 o'clock. Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern time. I don't know if we'll do a watch party me and Mrs. Auger, we might go to a bar and tell people we're going to be there and let people show up. We may just do it inside. I don't know. What's going on, but I will tell you, I didn't know who Tamar Braxton was before this, and I definitely know Tamar now. There's a lot of interaction between me and Tamar. All right, guys, it's time. I think Eric Taylor can take an extra couple minutes on the show. Guys, be well. Thank you so very much. I definitely appreciate all of you. Have a great day. I will be back tomorrow, Wednesday, for Worldwide Wednesday, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Oh, Nadia from Wisconsin passed her Sec Plus. Nadia, way to go. Nice. All right, y'all. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Stay tuned. Eric Taylor's coming in hot. Yeah. Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jawjacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jawjacking.
What's going on, people? Holy crap. It's good to see you all. How you doing? This is your first time here. We know we've got some new timers in here. If you got any questions of a technical nature, definitely do not ask me GRC stuff, because I'll tell you that I hate it and we'll all point and laugh at you. No, just kidding. But I'm not a GRC person, so please refrain from those. But make sure you put a Q with a colon mark in there, so that when I do a search find, I can find your question and be able to try to answer it. I've been jumping in and out of the stream today. I know we normally have something coming up around 9:30 on the YouTubies. I'm looking in mod chat and I don't see anything. But bear with me. Talks amongst yourselves while I get not today. Okay, cool. So we can go a little long, ladies and gentlemen, and really ham it up. Little programming note while we waiting for questions to come in. I will be taking a short leave of absence from Jawjacking starting Thursday. I may be out for about a week getting some medical care taken care of that has been desperately needing to be done. So we will I will try to be back next week, but I don't know. I'll be working, but I just don't know how well I'll be able to hold down conversations and things of that nature. So I'm just going to plan for a week of outage and kind of go from there. All right, so we have two questions coming in. One from Bruise and Hacks. Who is the other cyber guy for the MTV show? Is it another YouTube creator that we may know of? Oh, you talking about that show that Dr. Gerald Auger's on? I don't remember the name of that show. Caught in the Act, I think. Oh, okay. From Keith, do you have a favorite Linux distro as a daily driver? Ubuntu. It is by far the most widely accepted version of this distro for Linux, in my professional opinion. Just about anything that I need to do in Linux, I can easily get done in an Ubuntu VM. And I don't need to load like 50 million freaking things. It just works. So my favorite go-to is Ubuntu. Who did you look up to coming up in cyber? In cyber, I don't know. To be completely honest with you, when I was getting back into pen testing after I was phasing out the MSP side of the business, I was looking at Tom Nom Nom, I was looking at Stoke, Nahamsec. There was a couple other ones that I was actively watching and learning from. I'm weird. I've kind of just picked this into, it's like, I'm not autistic by any means. I'm ADHD, but cyber and pen testing and all that stuff has just come naturally to me. Like, it calms a lot of my ADHD down. So that's me. Ubuntu all the way from Funky Monk. But Debian is better. Yeah, Debian is better, but I don't use a lot of Linux. I mean, my CTI platform is in Linux, but it's kind of like whatever. Stupid thing is always crashing on me, it seems. Most of the tools are built for Ubuntu or something of that nature. So, like I said, I mean, I would agree with you. Debian is, I would say, a more stable with a lot of the repos and things of that nature. But if I was to switch from a Windows environment to a Linux, I would have to say Ubuntu is it. Thanks for answering. Yeah, that's what we're here for. I appreciate you have to run. Great catching up. Yeah, absolutely, Sierra. We got a call, what, at 5 or something like that later today. Look forward to that. Question from Tony. What do you think about the Georgia Tech Kaspersky cybersecurity program? Trying to get an opinion on an experienced cyber. I don't know squat. Wasn't Kaspersky the one that was banned in the US, right? Or is that another AV I'm thinking of? Yeah, Kaspersky is banned in the US. So why Georgia Tech is offering a Kaspersky cybersecurity program is completely beyond me. I probably wouldn't take it. Not without a lot of freaking questions. Question from Mental Age. I have a 6-year-old niece that is interested in my computer, and I want to show her how to use it safely. Sorry, just getting pinged. Is there Russian multinational cybersecurity and antivirus for? Yeah, Russia, banned in the U.S. Whatever. Anyway, I got a 6-year-old niece that is interested in my computer, and I want to show her how to use it safely. Any resources I could go to use, like kid version of hacked? Mental Edge, this is going to probably be this is going to probably be an unhinged response. But why in the F are you going to put a 6-year-old in a kid's version of Hack the Vault? I would not a 6-year-old. I don't care how talented they are. No, not in a million effing years. No way. I told you this is probably going to be unhinged. But I would, and I don't know how to do this with that age is so impressionable. I would almost say, you know what, now that I think about it for a second, because your niece is 6, I would honestly think, try to look for kid cyber games. because we want to start teaching them about potential dangers and let them explore. But all that stuff is just way too young in my personal opinion, way too young for a 6-year-old to grasp and concept. And I am a big advocate of letting kids be kids. Let them keep their innocence, and that is just completely unhinged. Exposing them to a lot of that stuff, I personally believe, will destroy the innocence of the kid. So I would try to find, games that are around cyber, but in a kid-friendly way. And I know that's kind of what you're asking for, but not a pen testing scenario, right? I don't know how to do that. I think a hack the box, try hack me, all that is too in the weeds for a 6-year-old. Like, take it a couple steps back, maybe a teenage version of it for like 10, 13, 14-year-olds, maybe so. But 6-year-old, I think you're way too effing early for some of that stuff, man. I will look for more kiddish games. From the Tony, I see mod chat going off. Besides stupid humans and emerging AI, what do you think is the biggest threat out there? The general adoption and belief of AI output. People just taking it blindly that whatever AI is given them is factual. I think is really the biggest threat, because people are going to it extends so deep that people are going to adopt it into their code blindly. They're going to, implement, whatever product or feature because of Grok or Chat or Gemini, or take your flavor of AI is telling them as gospel, and it's flawed. That's what I think my biggest threat is. I open up RDP because AI said that if I just change it from 3389 to 4418, then we're more secure. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. This is literally the third time this number has called me.
All right, everybody. So as soon as Eric comes back, I will absolutely let him back on. But just for the sake of the stream and for your entertainment purposes, let's keep going. Oh, all right. He's actually back. So let's let him back on.
So sorry. I have a little rule over here at the Taylor household. When you call 2 or more times, that means I need to get stop what I'm doing and answer the phone call. And that was a pretty important phone call I needed to take. So some change of plans in the daily life of the Taylor household. So anyway, thanks for working with me and being patient as we work through this. Let's get caught up on some questions. Taiwan Gong, I've been thinking about getting out of cyber because things don't come easy for me. Your advice. Taiwan Gong, I feel like we have a lot of this conversation where you're kind of doubting yourself. And honestly, those are things that only you can answer. I will say burnout is very prominent in the cyberspace. Burnout's very much in the blue team defender space too. It is very easily to get burned out. And I can tell you, if you are burned out, adoption and understanding of technical abilities and learning new things, you might as well just go out there and start yelling at a tree, because you're about going to get the same results. So I would take a step back, like, are you suffering from burnout? If so, you may want to do, I hate the phrase of work-life balance, but taking that mindset of being able to get up and get away, maybe consider longer vacations. I know a lot of people in the cyberspace will not take like a full week at one time. They'll take 2 or 3 days here, 2 or 3 days there, those mini breaks. And while those are good to be able to get away for a couple of days, I honestly, as I am getting older, I am realizing that a longer break is really needed as you're potentially getting older, because you just need more time. Because personally speaking, like those first 2 or 3 days, I'm still talking with the team. I'm still handling, possible engagements. People are calling me for possible situations until the team gets spun up and really able to take over. And a lot of times I'm still thinking about business stuff, right? And that day before we start heading back, my mind is already gearing up back into the business operations of things, right? So you don't really get a wind down just for a couple of days. It may be good to step away and not sit at your computer, absolutely. But, I think a longer time frame is needed. So I would say consider that, and then let's come back and talk. From Curtis, I noticed you posted about taking SANS ransomware and cybersecurity course. Yes. What is your opinion on the value of SANS training material? I like it. I've got 4 courses under my belt. This will be number 5. I'm getting ready to do recertifications this year. I think of the FOR 500, 508, 572, which is Windows Forensics Advanced and Networking. And I do got to do, at some point in the next year, I really got to get into malware and smartphone mobile forensics to really round up. So every 3 or 4 years, you need to recert because of new technology, new logging. Even though we're in it, the one thing that I truly like about SANS, and this is not beating up Black Hills by any means, but the one thing I do like it is there's numerous teachers, so when you retake it, you can learn from a different instructor. Black Hills will get there, but you have your tried and true instructors there. So you get to learn different insights and their life experiences dealing with a lot of stuff. And the instructors are typically from Kroll or one of the other larger firms out there. So you can really talk shop, and they kind of open it to some degree as long as you're not about to break some NDA and stuff like that. But yeah, everybody's making fun of the ET dance. It's much to not to get political, but my ET dance, my Fat Happy Man dance, I think is much better than the Trump dance. I gotta say, that whole whatever the heck he does, it looks kind of quirky. But I have to say, I'm getting more movement. I'm getting more of a cardiovascular workout. Anyway. But yeah, I personally prefer SANS. 13 Cubed is a real good starter one for forensics as well. I know a lot of forensic firms are starting to integrate the training from 13 Cubed as a entry level before they interject them into SANS. So, like 13 Cubed is turning out to be a really good entry level training for people who are transitioning from network and system administrator to pivot over there. So, and it's really affordable too. But yeah, I am very, very happy with SANS. I do not like the fact of how much it costs, but in my world, unless somebody comes up to me and tells me otherwise, that we don't really value it that much anymore, I'm going to continue taking it, right? So the certifications help me get into the door for a conversation, I firmly believe. It's still up to, I mean, I'm not going to win agreements and partnerships because of a SANS certificate or a GAC certification. But I do believe it opens up the door for those conversations, because they can see on my LinkedIn profile, he is heavily SANS trained, and he holds those certifications. So but as soon as 50% of the people that I talk to are like, yeah, we just don't hold it as much, you can, as long as you're showing training and you're keeping up with it, then we don't care where you get it from, So anyway, that's my 2 cents. Yeah, I can read a lot of lips. How am I getting socially engineered on live stream? Oh, is that when I was getting my phone call? That might have been what that was. I'm just trying to get caught up on the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Favorite links. From Tony. What do you think about the Georgia Tech master's degree program? Would you hire a graduate straight out of the program? Yeah. So here's the thing about master degrees. To me personally, all master degrees, no matter where you get it from, hold the same credibility. Oh, you got a master's degree. Great. No, not knowing the nuances about each individual school and their master degree certification, I can't weigh in pro or con unless I hear about. Oh, when you were talking, gotcha. The reading lips is about what I was on when I was on the call. Unless I hear negative things about a certain accreditation of a school, it's all the same. I will take a look at the master's degree and be like, okay, you have the fundamental knowledge that comes with that master's degree. That's great. Do you have the actual practical and workflow knowledge? See you later, Jenny Hensley. To actually complete the task at hand. It's like SANS training. You go through and study the material. Doesn't mean you're really going to be able to still do the work. So, health equals wealth. I don't know about that. Here in the U.S., it seems like you got to have a bunch of wealth to make sure you keep up with your health. So answer that one. I know there's a lot of BS out there, so trying to narrow it down. Let's see. Oh, okay. So this is going back to the hack the box. Not necessarily hack the box, but some kind of early training is what mental. Yeah, I'm all for that. I just don't know what that looks like. Let me go to the Google since we are not. Let's see, let's type in cyber range for kids. And I know I'm doing this off screen where y'all can't see it. I can spin up my VM here in a second. Oh, well, hey. This is actually pretty cool. Let me move some of my windows around real quick and share this. I got my sandbox chip. I got my VM running. So let me get this over here. Let me get that there. Ignore me while I ramble profusely. You know, it's been a while, so I'll share sound. All right, so we'll stop that for 1 second while I bring this up because I don't want to keep my sounds keep going because I have not muted all of my other stuff. So we'll reopen our entire screen, this time not share sound, and I'll share this into chat. But this actually looks promising, ladies and gentlemen. apps.cyber.org, a no-cost safe environment for K-12 students to practice cybersecurity. This is exactly what we were looking for, right? Learn more. So this is essentially a cyber range for kiddos. Oh, practice for the Security Plus exam. Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay, maybe a little too advanced for a 6-year-old. Oh wow, a cyber safety video series. I know this may, if you're into tutoring kids, this may be a good resource to get inspiration from or even use, right? So yeah, I would definitely check this thing out. This seems really, really interesting. So I think I posted it in the chat here. Yeah. If I didn't, let me do that again. Oh, Kyle's weighing in on here. If you register as a teacher, you get all of the curriculums. So you may be able to even work with your school and say, hey, you know, I think this would be a resource not only for my kiddo, but the other kiddos in the same grade and maybe even the school. And it is free. You may be able to get my kids are homeschooled, so they gave me an instruct. That is so cool that they actually honored, because I was so thinking it had to be like an accredited school when you first said that. So okay, yeah. So yeah, I just learned about this platform. This is actually really, really cool. So definitely worth taking a look at, ladies and gentlemen, if you're needing that type of thing for the kiddos. So hopefully that will bear some fruit for you. Question again from Mental Edge. Man, you are full of questions today, good sir. Planning a trip for Wild Wild Hackfest later this year. Any trips? Never attended a con before, or any tips? Patience. Pack a lot of patience. You're going in the middle of nowhere. So I don't know if they're going to change it this year, but if you do get there early before the con, like you're taking the pre-con training, expect to rent your own car. They have shuttles for to and from the hotel during the or at the beginning and the end of the conference. But if you're arriving for pre-conference training, expect to provide your own transportation. So what are your thoughts on the Western Governors University Bachelor in Cybersecurity program on its own? Well, I don't know any particular school's accreditation versus another one. I wish I could weigh in more, but I don't have that insight, unfortunately. I'm so knee deep into my own world that it's so hard. If you had full training with any instructor, who would it be? I honestly don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that one, Keith Sloan. That is a good question that I will honestly have to put some serious thought into it. I haven't been with an instructor that just over the top wowed me. Like, man, everything this guy or gal is saying is just over the top great. You know, I want to learn more. There's been some that I'm like, man, this guy really, really sucks, or this girl really, really sucks, and I never want to learn from this person again. Even from their voice, like, their voice just is horrible, and you know, I can't listen to the education for that, right? So people I will shy away from, but I haven't found anybody that I would overly say I've got to learn more from this person. So you know, there is one class that I do enjoy trying to tune into from Black Hills, is Bo Bullock's Breaching the Cloud. That's a pretty good course. I try to tune into that one every couple of years, so that way I can just kind of see what the latest and greatest things are, especially from Microsoft 365 and primarily 365, but some of the other cloud instances as well. Like, how do the attackers look at getting there? That way I can build my TTPs and look at it from a forensic standpoint of how potentially people get in there. So there's a couple other classes that I look forward to watching from time to time as well. We are coming up to 9:30. The questions definitely have dropped off. So has the viewers. So we may be getting at the point where people are getting ready to head off to work and do their thing. I know an hour and a half is a long time for people. Yeah, it looks like I am fully caught up on questions here. Just double checking one more time. What courses, let me put it back. There's been a lot of questions here recently about, you know, courses and schools and things of that nature. I want to hear from you, like, what courses are coming up throughout the rest of the year that you are looking forward to? Like, is there anything that has caught your eye recently? Like, this looks like it's going to be an awesome course, and you know, I'm trying to get my employer or save up for that type of stuff. How much of a plus are soft skills for a staff technical auditor position? Highly important. Is highly important because you're doing an audit. You have to ask questions. Hey, I mean, you're asking to receive information. You are digesting information mentally and, you know, visually through logs and things of that nature. And you have to ask following up questions, right? Like, what does this mean? How did you get to this? You know, so you're doing a lot of talking. Soft skills is very, very, very important. I just want to be a strong John Strand fanboy last week, or I just became. John Strand's good people. I've attended one of his classes at Sands before he started Black Hills. Did you know John Strands used to teach at Sands? He did. What is one story you are recently interested in? You know, I'm not going to say one story, but I'm going to say that music is definitely loud in my ear. Hopefully it's not been too loud in your ear as well. It may just because of the tempo change or something. But I will share a trend with you that I have started to notice as a pattern. All right. A lot of cybersecurity firms have CTI, their threat intel feed. And it seems like only after a ransomware group gets taken down or merges or whatever. Holy crap, Tony, you don't need to do all caps, good sir. I see your question, but I'll get to it. Holy moly. Stop yelling at me. I'm just kidding. But seriously, you may not want to do caps. Is only after they get shut down is only when they start like, oh, look at all the stuff that we noticed and we knew about. Like, why aren't you sharing that information beforehand? Like, as things come out. Like, I do it all the time. I'm like, hey, we got a new, this is new TTP that we seen with Lockbit or whoever. Like, we're sharing out that information. I really don't like the fact that people hold on to intel like that. Like, and I know some of it you can't release, right? You don't want to tip your hand and potentially tip off that you and your team may be actively working and gathering threat intel on an adversary. Totally get it. But like all the stuff that's coming out, it's just complete trash to me. I don't like it. Okay. Tony, please go to meet.barricadecyber.com and get me on your boss's calendar. I will quickly educate your boss. Okay, everybody who doesn't use CrowdStrike, just tune me out for a second. But freaking CrowdStrike Discover, or not Discover, but Spotlight is a notification platform. It is not a patching engine. It's not. It's a verification of your third-party patching tool, whether you're using an RMM or Topia or whatever you're using. But I could put literally 3 CNAs on the call with us, with your boss, and tell them the Spotlight is only a reporting engine. Yes, you can go into RTR and push patches, but it's not effing scalable. It is not to be a patching engine. You need a new patching engine, is what you need. I will happily educate your boss on that one. Oh my gosh. And I'll do respectfully as much as I can. Sunshine, I took the SANS Linux incident response and threat training. Sunshine, what was your thoughts on it? We don't get much Linux. And when we do, I mean, we're pulling the op folder, we're pulling the var folder, a couple other folders, and we're parsing the logs. I don't know, and again, you've taken the class, but from the outside looking in my limited forensics cases and what we've done for on a Linux machine, like 4 or 5 folders from, if memory serves me right, you collect that, and that's everything you need, and you're going through logs. You're grepping, right? I don't know if the course is needed. I mean, I'm sure people find it incredibly valuable, but I'm wondering, did you personally get any value out of that course? Obviously, I'm sure more people will take you up on it as it gets closer to time. We did Mental Edge. We did that when the entire team, when Joseph was still here, we all flew up and we all stayed at a Verbo. I don't care for Airbnb. I don't like their policies. I don't like the way the company operates. And it seems like the quality of the rentals at Airbnb have definitely gone down. I think we get a more, I don't want to say secure, but a nicer house for the money with a Verbo than we do with Airbnb. Like Airbnb seems like budget. It's like Spirit Airlines type of thing. It's the way it's starting to be. In my complete personal opinion. And then when we had problems getting, support for issues out there, Airbnb was just so unresponsive. And when they did, it was just like, meh. Verbo was like, oh, let me help you take care of this right away. So it was completely. Didn't CrowdStrike Falcon break the internet within the last year? Yeah, CrowdStrike Falcon did that. And I've said it before, and I even almost had a complete rant in one of my CTI feeds. Because everybody's like, oh, Delta's going to be able to sue CrowdStrike. So, whatever. Who cares? It's not going to bankrupt CrowdStrike. I've said it before, and I'll say it 1,000 times again. All companies are going to have a situation, right? They are. I'm sorry to tell you, every company is going to have a situation. Whether it's an effing global one like CrowdStrike hit, which is a pretty big situation, or a minor one. It's all about communication and response. And to me, CrowdStrike owned up to it. Like there was a little bit of back and forth, a little bit like whose fault is it because of the investigation. But I think once CrowdStrike was like, oh crap, this is actually our fault, they completely effing owned up to it. And they were providing updates, they were providing scripts to help people out. Like I know I'm small in the CrowdStrike ecosystem with the number of endpoints that we manage and stuff like that. But our account managers were reaching out to me. Hey Eric, do you need anything? So I mean, their entire team was fully supportive and trying to help all of its partners and the partners' clients to remediation. Delta refused it all. Like CrowdStrike, I know for a fact, offered to drop boots on the ground to help Delta restart and get back up and running. Delta's like, nah. We got it. Our IT guys and gals, which are subcontractors, they've got it all under control. So while other airlines were able to pivot and recover quickly, I don't know if they used Delta's help or not, but they were back up and running a lot faster than Delta. And don't get me wrong, I love Delta. I only fly with Delta. And because they support the Children's Miracle Network. But anyway, but yeah. Why does it seem to be so proficient in bug bounties you have almost know how to code prior to doing so? Sort of. You got to know a little bit about code so that way you know how to break it. There's some tools out there that help you do that. All right, let me scroll down to the bottom here. new deli support. We got deli sandwiches. Yeah, CrowdStrike can definitely be a game changer. It is definitely an EDR that you need to tune. And Ross, I offer this for free. I mean, I've been very open and vocal. We're a strong CrowdStrike partner, and we consult businesses who have CrowdStrike. If you need a health check on your configurations and the way that you have it, if you have problems with ingesting data with XDR and stuff like that, happy to get on a call. meet.barricadecyber.com, schedule a call. Happy to help you out. We'll just do a screen share. We'll kind of go through your policies and everything like that. You just make sure you're good to go. So help you out with some of the monitoring things, like what you should be monitoring for and stuff like that. So yeah, they're going to be just fine. I mean, will they take a hit from the lawsuit from Delta? Yeah, but dude, they've recovered, and they've just been there, guys. They really have. My signal is going off. Oh, this is going to possibly be bad. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so sorry we have to bug out. I'm getting preliminary information about a possible situation is about to freaking hit the fan and destroy my next 2 weeks. Y'all have a good one. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Again, I will definitely not be here on Thursday. I will try to be back on next week, but probably not. I'm just going to plan for a week sabbatical for next week. Hopefully I'll be back, but we'll see how things go. Until next time, stay curious, my friends, and we will see y'all next time. Go touch some grass. Just try not to get sunburned. All right, y'all. Take care.
There once was a kid whose passwords laid across all sites. They were the same. A criminal then found their fame by taking that data to go. Soon may a criminal come to steal your pictures and data and run. One day when the crime is done, they'll steal your
Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed that content. Keep the cybersecurity train going by connecting with the other Simply Cyber community resources. We have the Discord server that's lively and always keeps the conversation going. You can connect with me directly on LinkedIn. And also every single weekday morning on the Simply Cyber channel, we're doing live daily cyber threat briefings, 8 a.m. Eastern time, as well as Thursday at 4:30 p.m. We're doing live stream interviews with industry experts, and we produce videos that we push out every Wednesday morning. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. I hope you enjoyed the content, and we'll see you in the next one.